And we are back with segment 2 of the Remax Magnolia Real Estate Show with myself, Curtis Pope, and we have Paul here and Sean's here as well. So we were talking a bit about the pre-engineered side of your business, which is cool because you equated it to Lego blocks, so you had my attention. But now you also do general contracting and design as well. So I guess one lends well with the other, the two sides.
Absolutely, yeah. They can definitely complement one another. That's dependent if pre-eng is being used for that project. Oftentimes it's not. But yeah, it does mend well.
Now, when it comes to design, that must be a fun part of the job.
Yes. That I was hoping you were going to ask something along those lines, because the design is definitely my favorite part of it. That's kind of the pre-construction side. Sometimes it can bleed over a little bit with design changes and everything. But the design's quite fun. You get to go meet a client. Maybe they have an existing facility. You get to walk through and hear about how it's been functioning for the past 20, 30 years, where the shortfalls are, where value can be added or things can be changed. And then I get to work with our great in-house designers, and I get to go through floor plans with them and elevations and suggest creative changes, for the exterior paneling, different aesthetic things. And then it allows you to work with the client as well. And they get to have a big input on the overall design of the building, whether it be functionality or the aesthetics of the building. So it's definitely a creative stage. And I think in that, it's quite enjoyable, as long as all the parties are aligning on the design, that is.
Now, the question I have for you, this is like asking who's your favorite kid, but there must be one project that you probably are extremely proud of and go, that's my Mona Lisa. Which project is that?
Yeah. So it was an aviation project. I kind of caught the tail end of it. So I didn't get to do too much in the design portion of it, but I did get to talk with Chris Dreger. He's our pre-engineered designer, really a genius with this stuff. And it was a hangar expansion project in the Lower Mainland here. So we took, let me just remember the dimensions here. I think it was about 150 foot by 80 foot fixed wing hangar. And they needed to fit a larger aircraft in. When these were built in the 80s or 90s, aircrafts were a lot smaller then, especially, private and different sectors. So now, they needed to fit a much larger aircraft. So we got to take the pre-engineered building and basically remove one outside wall with the columns, and then extend the roof frames by actually adding chunks on that extended it out about 30 feet, and then new columns.
All clear span, obviously.
All clear span, yeah. Which sounds kind of boring when you say it out loud. But when you actually go in there and look at it, it's quite impressive, and it's really cool the engineering that went into it to be able to make that expansion without completely rebuilding the hangar itself.
Yeah, that's very cool. My uncle, he passed away a number of years ago, but he worked he was an executive for a steel company in Vancouver, and his proudest achievement, his company worked on the Science World building. Oh. He loved that building. That was always his favorite whenever he talked about it, because he just loved the way it came together. It was like a passion project for him. So I'm sure there's lots of those, and it's probably hard to pick one, but it sounds like that would be an interesting one, because the engineering side of things when you're building things, you look at Roman aqueducts and bridges and stuff that are still in use today in Europe from 2,000 years ago. Like that, when you see something like that, and then you're doing stuff like that too, it must be kind of fascinating. Like you said, it might not sound all that intriguing when you're talking about it, but in principle and practice, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I'm sure if you ask that same question to some folks that have been with the company for 20, 30 years, they definitely have some different, more kind of fancy examples. Like we did a Ferrari dealership in Calgary a few years ago that we spoke about briefly, and that one is, these industrial buildings, oftentimes aesthetics isn't the priority. It's functionality, obviously, and cost. So when you get to do like a Ferrari dealership, aesthetics is a massive priority. So it creates
decent
a lot
budget too, huh? Is it?
Yeah, definitely a little more expensive to build a Ferrari dealership than a warehouse. But it gives you that leeway to spend more time on the aesthetics and do more of it.
Yeah, because if you're selling Ferraris, you want the building to match the cars you're selling, obviously.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Cool. I'm thinking from like, I have a client. They're looking at this big commercial property, and they're wondering, okay, what can I build here? The property's X amount, and they need some rough numbers. Like, how could your company help him in the preliminary stages kind of come up with some rough numbers? Is that's the kind of thing that you do, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, that's certainly one of the cases, and that's we really like to get in at that stage, whether it's working with somebody like yourself, like a commercial realtor, or if there's just a pre-existing relationship with the client business owner. Is we can take, if you have an example of a 10-acre lot or whatever it may be, and you want to put a truck shop or something, but it's hard to know exactly how much that's going to actually cost, and what it's going to look like without putting in that legwork and building a budget and building a design. So in the case that you stated, we can do something along the lines of providing drawing packages. So we have the in-house designers, they do 3D rendering, so you can actually kind of get a good street view of what the building's going to look like.
Okay.
And then of course floor plans and the site plan. You can see, things like how much parking you're going to have and your offsets if you have streams nearby or whatever it may be. And with that, we can have a budget and a scope of work and everything. Yeah. And then that way, the developer, whomever, they can use that information for their
application review meetings or initial conversations with cities.
Exactly, even their preliminary approvals from the cities or airports or whatever it may be. Yeah, so it's very beneficial to get in at that stage. I know you've worked in construction in the past, and obviously you're involved with it now. There's the kind of saying, if you want to blow your budget, you hire an architect first. And no harp against architects, but
no, we need them.
It's good to have a really firm grasp on the cost of your project right from the get-go. Things can really, can really snowball. So it's good to really have that control from the get-go.
For sure. Cool. So I guess to kind of wrap up, if people need to get a hold of you, where's the best place?
Yeah, you can just look up Seko Construction online. Go to our website and reach out to wherever you are, the Vancouver office or Calgary, Edmonton, whatever suits you.
Well, yeah, look forward to sending clients your way and working with you in the future. That's
for sure.
great.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, Paul, I'm thinking now if you have any listings or things like that we need to chat about this week.
Yeah, I've got a commercial property in Mission, 2.48 acres. It used to have a motel on it, burnt down, and it's for sale.
And know somebody who could design something and build something.
Absolutely, yeah. That's, could work.
So there's commercial property right now. And okay, cool. So now, where's that one right in Mission, right on the highway?
In Mission, between Mission and Hatsick.
Okay.
Right on the low-heat highway there, yeah.
Okay, so somebody was looking to build another hotel or something like that.
Mixed use, yeah.
Perfect, okay. Anything else you got to talk about right now, or is that
that's it?
That covers it?
That's it.
Thanks
for coming.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, well, we'll do this again next week.
Curtis.
And join us again next week when we will talk real estate in order to unlock your real estate potential on a show where real estate is maximized. Thanks for listening.